Alright, I had this on my mind and I got kind of backlogged because of the weather. Alright, so the only time that I was actually at the commune, John and I had to get a ride. One of those times we were without a working vehicle. And we got one with our famous friend, who's now R.I.P. Bob Alt. He was the ragtime musician in Sedalia, Missouri 65301. That's kind of like a thing with me, isn't it? Anyhow, Bob and I waited out in the little driveway. And I say little because it was off the road really quick, and then you came to this big orange cattle gate. Not a pretty, welcoming entryway like I would rather, and maybe you would rather, with the flowers and a wreath on the door and a little welcome thing, welcome mat at least, a pot of flowers. Looks nice, right? A cattle gate, a livestock gate, an orange one. Don't you find that kind of odd? Look at what it signifies. It signifies beyond this point, there is livestock, there are animals. Well, see, the reason I'm bringing this up is because someone else had mentioned that Livingston himself would in no way live in any of the kind of little houses that he had allowed or helped build out on his property. He would live in that big mansion or the big house up front, or wherever it was, I don't know. And they called those other houses, well, they were Hogan's. So I do get the connection with them calling them hog houses, with the thatched roofs and blah, blah, blah. I've seen pictures on the website. I just don't happen to have that open right now. I was really hoping to get a Google Earth of it, so I could, look around, because I just ate a banana. Oh, now I was sleepy, and I have my soda back. I was looking around last night a little bit, but my connection wasn't all that great. But I was on Google Maps, and then can do the satellite view from there. But I didn't see anything that looked like Hogan's. And I can go by my memory of what I saw of the pictures on their website to try to see what what does go on out there. And I did happen to notice, because I had what I guess was the address, I might have to double check, and I Googled the address. Excuse me. My holiday weekend's taking its toll. And it says the property is listed on a for sale by owner site. So I really don't have a clue. But my guess was, and it was starting to dwindle from back in its heyday, when we knew anything about it on a constant basis between 93 and 95. There were reportedly 60 or so people out there. Goodness gracious. And now it's like down to 35 or something. I guess what I'll have to do is get on their website and get a different mailing address, maybe. so I can Google it. Because just because it gets on a website doesn't mean it's for sale, does it? I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that if I buy a property, it was real close to the road. There's like maybe 2 cars could fit on the driveway before you come to the gate. You know, just right there was the entry. I would not want that as my entry. Okay, I'm no Martha Stewart, but I wouldn't want that. I would want it to be pretty and welcoming and, you know, maybe even on the charming side. Not that. And I do believe there was a no trespassing sign on there too. But see, they knew he was coming. This had all been prearranged. And like I had said before, this was her idea. And his parents, when they were alive, kept us kind of somewhat informed of what was going on up there and sent clippings and this and that. But we never really did know a whole lot. But it was her doing. And I need that totally understood. I think maybe some people think that he just denied paying him child support till she couldn't take it anymore and then said, okay, you win, come and get him. Well, that wasn't it. She was deliberate in telling them that he was dead since they were little. So like for 13 years, that's what they knew. That's what they had been taught to know. Their own situation, that's what they were allowed to know of their own situation. So, and then like I started to say earlier today in another one, another one popped into my mind right then too. Maybe she knew the stuff had gone on with her daughter and that preacher or whoever, and she just didn't want to come out and say it, because if she just came out and said it, there's no chance after it's been said. After it's been said, there's no more room for a fantasy of it. If she says it, it makes it concrete. So she didn't want to say it in hopes that maybe somehow that would, not saying it, not expressing it, would allow it to later maybe be changed to something else. See what I'm saying? But she went and said it, so it solidified, right? I don't think that's how it works, but maybe in her mind. Because even though she was educated on 2 continents, you know, that does not make her a whiz-bang automatically. And her daughter might like to view her as a whiz-bang, and oh, my mom is special smart, and oh, my mom is special this, and special that. We happen to know she isn't. And I think that kind of blew her daughter out of the water a little bit too. That I didn't see anything so special about her mother. Her mother had moved into communal living. What's more common than communal living? Pardon me. There's nothing special about that. It's communal living. You know, it's like how the Greeks used to have the public bathtubs, right? Everybody would go bathe in the part. Okay, that was what I at first thought was someone at the door, because I had my headset on and it was really loud, and I thought, well, they must have been there loud. Been there a while. They're loud now, banging. Got out there, nobody was there. Just the cats looking at me. And then I went on in the kitchen, and this thing I had sitting on the counter had fallen off, hit the floor. This plastic storage thing I got from my utensils, my long-handled stuff, so they don't take up room in the drawer. But anyway, her mom to me didn't seem like anything all that great. And I wasn't trying to put her down. And no, nobody asked me my opinion. But God bless America, I have a right to state said opinion. You take your kids out to where you know there's an abusive preacher, and you turn them loose in the wild like that. And at the time it was a little under 300 acres. They've added, like I said yesterday, gobs of acres to that, over 1,200 now. You're pretty much asking for it. You're pretty much saying, whatever. Hit me with it, you know. I don't think I could be an off-gridder. I looked at their website a little bit. It was either because it was still open this morning, or I was on this one that introduces their intentional community. And it says it's off-grid, totally off-grid. But that house has electricity and a phone. And that's where they said Livingston lives. Or lived. And I didn't see a price on the property. I was looking around. But if I go back to their own specific website, I might be able to get the address, and from that, Google it and come up with Google Earth on it. So, you know, we can see that way. Pardon me. Me and the banana and the stuff falling around. So this is the way I decided to try to wind down this afternoon. Was just this little peaceful, childlike puzzle that I enjoy doing. And even though I'm 57 years old, I still need my comforts, you know. I still need my creature comforts. And, can't have them all for now. Maybe someday, right? I don't know what I would have thought of my mother if she had pulled a stunt like that. Our mother was mad at her. She had nothing good to say about her own mother, who's also now dead. God know her mother didn't want her to go out there and live like that. Are you kidding me? She was being a real rebel to do that, to drag those kids out there away from everything that society is built up on, you know. Even though society these days is taking a knocking, shall we say, from different directions. And yeah, there should be some improvements. And I hope they're working on that. But just to say, I'm throwing my hands up, I'm packing I'm loading up the truck, and I'm moving to the hills. I'm out of here. I'm not gonna, no more. What kind of mom really does that? And she can't sit there and say, oh, it's because I wanted to give my kids fresh cow milk every day. And I wanted them to have lots of green vegetables and no meat. Next one. See you soon.